All right, this part of the video is where we commit to our final design and start to glue the individual forms together. As you can see here, I'm contemplating between two designs, and I'm going to tell you why I changed my mind. So my first idea was this right here, and what I did is I laid these down flat, and I'm touching about 3/4 of an inch face to face, right here, 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 and here. And what I would do, I'd measure 3/4 of an inch in glue, and I would glue this flat to the ground or the surface, and then I'd make another one of those, and then I would put those two together, kind of like two hands. But they're going to join together like this, and that's not going to stand well. So I was thinking about, what if I were to flip them facing outward, and then the bottoms, I could, if I mirror it, then I could connect them here, and they would stand out like this, and that way that could stand up on the ground, and I'd have a nice radial design. So that's my plan B, and I'm gonna go with plan B. So, same concept. I'm gonna try to make this in the center. And I'm eyeing it about 3/4 of an inch. I just have to forget how it's not gonna create as big of a circle because it doesn't go out as much. And that is just something I'm gonna have to deal with. What the hell? You kind of see I have to work this a little bit until it makes that circle. But whatever I do, I have to make sure I have that system down, because I'm gonna have to repeat this process. For the second one. So there might be a little bending at the very end. But I think once I flip this around, I have a flat face on the bottom. And once I flip this around, it will again be able to stand like that. So I'm gonna commit to this design. I just have to make sure everything is in the same orientation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take like an average distance, and I'm measuring with this, and I'm saying, oh, that looks about 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy and this guy, and I'm gonna measure 3/4 of an inch. Using your 3H pencil. Sometimes it's easier to put a 1 on the corner, and then you could just go down 3/4 of an inch and just mark it. And that way when you glue it, maybe I'll mark it a little bit. I can see what the heck I'm doing. That way when you glue this guy to this guy, it's marked and you know where to end it. So basically it's going to glue right here. But you don't want to glue this in midair because you don't know if it's flat. It has to be flat to the ground for me to be able to repeat this again. And every design is different, so it's almost impossible to say this is going to work for this and this is going to work for that. One thing I should have done is turn my glue upside down, because eventually this starts to get a little, that will help. While I'm waiting for that, I'll mark this guy. And part of this is a learning curve. You kind of have to like figure it out as you go. And you figure it out as you go. Because I'm thinking right now, if I connect 3 of them together, and then connect 3 together, and maybe the last 2 together, and then try to connect those together as a whole, that might work. Or maybe I do 2, 2, 2, and 2, and try to connect 2 and 4. I'm not sure yet, but I'll probably just do the 2, 2 in the beginning. And let's just hope that I have a little glue. Yay. All right, so got my glue. I'm gonna put a little glue out here. Don't have all my tools with me. I'm just gonna try to flatten the glue out. Not much face will be touching, but when I just thought that I might need to put, it's gonna get here. I'm just gonna put a piece of tape down. The reason I'm putting this tape down is so the glue doesn't stick to the surface there. And as you can see, I just glued, I'm leaving this so I know what the heck I'm doing, but I just glued that little section there, face to face. And again, the reason I have the tape there, the glue might stick to it, but I can peel this up and take it off, and it's so thin that even if it gets stuck on there, it's not a major deal. The reason I'm not touching this, I would tape it. If it was an easy face-to-face, I would tape it and let it dry. I would just get some tape and then tape it and let it dry. But in this case, I'm going to not do that. And then I'm going to measure this guy. And after this, you'll have a pretty good idea how to go about it. And then this gets glued there. And again, kind of doing this off the cuff. Flatten that out. And then the same thing. Once these two dry, oh darn, I put my glue back up. That's what stinks about these big bottles. It takes forever for the glue to come all the way back down. Once these two dry, then I'll consider putting the 2 on the 4. But I'm a little concerned because I know that this does not fit perfectly full circle. It's going to take a little elbow grease here, a little finagling to get this to kind of work. So I think I'm just going to put 2, 2, 2 together. I'm not going to put 2 and 4 together yet. And I'm just going to kind of slowly get myself there. Wow, this is painful to watch, I'm sure. Okay, there we go. I'm not going to do another one in the video, so I'm just going to. So again, I'm just flattening this out with my finger. You can use whatever tool you want to use. Putting it on top of the tape. And I'm trying to glue face to face. So there's a nice contact. And I'm stopping it right at that mark I made, so I know where to end it. And I also know that this is flat to the ground because it is. And I just pushed that a little bit so the glue would stick to the tape there. So you can kind of see that these two are done, these two are done. I'm gonna hit these two next, and then I'll put them together as a whole. Hopefully it will make that full circle that I'm imagining. And then I would repeat, I would make, there's 8 of these, I'd make 8 more, and then I would put them together. Who knows, they might come out like, as you would see a regular tire, a radial design, or I might stack these up and make more layers. I'm not sure the direction I would go into. All right, So that's basically the gluing process. Everything's different, but that's a form of a gluing process that you're going to take. But if you need to measure, you measure. Take precautions, do little parts at a time, slowly build it. Don't do one by one by one by one by one, because then eventually you're going to have this big gap at the end and it's not going to work. So you kind of, if you have to finagle something, do it in parts. Okay, good luck with the project, and I'm curious to see what they look like.